Hello y'all, I am back again for another video and I am also back on this exercise bike. So this video is going to be about how to handle the discard from the narcissist along with when they block you. This is very specific to when the narcissist blocks you. Social media, the phone, whatever way that they push block. This is how you may want to process this. I'm going to help you with this. I'm going through this right now, y'all. And so I'm going to give you some additional insight to walk you through this process so that as an empathetic person, you can control that emotional thinking. I may say a curse word once or twice or more. So if you don't like profanity, click out of this video. Because I have to just tell you the brutal truth about how this situation works and plays out. Okay, so you're blocked. A lot of times your only way of communication with the narcissist was through some kind of social media platform, through some kind of messenger. Because in a lot of cases, you are no longer paying for their phone bill. And if you are paying for their phone bill and you're still being blocked, that's really, really bad. Because you're paying for your own abuse. And we must stop or never pay for your own abuse. And I mean financially in this instance. So the narcissist has blocked you from this platform. And at this point, this was your only way of communication. So what happens in these situations is this. A lot of times you found out that there's crisis up ahead for the narcissist. And I was watching a video by a really popular YouTuber, and he's a gentleman. And he mentioned that the reason your mind reminds you of something that the narcissist did, it's a little different than rumination because it's not reminding you all the time. He mentions that it's happening because that's your alarm. That's when you're reminded of what they did, you're supposed to think, I'm gonna stay out that situation. I need to avoid that. Like you're being reminded of it, kind of like an alarm going off. And I'm describing it like this. I don't think he described it just in this way. But basically, a lot of times people will say, when you think of what someone did in the past, it's bad. I remember the ex-narcissist mentioned to me on one occasion that he knew his ex-wife would never return back to him. And the reason he knew it is because she mentioned to him at times things that he had done to her. And at that time, I didn't really understand fully what he meant because I was thinking, well, if she's still mentioning that, maybe she wants you back. But however, that particular narcissist knew it was actually just the opposite because she was continuing to remind herself of the way he had treated her. And it can go vice versa. If you were with a bad lady, gentlemen can remind themselves of what they went through. And if you're reminded of it sometimes, maybe you won't go back to it. But if you are one of those people where you say, well, that's the past, I'm just going to forget about it. Forgetting about something won't always keep you away from the person, if that makes sense. So I would agree with that because a lot of times when I would think about any ex-narcissist, and they don't always have to be a lover, an intimate partner, or a spouse. You think of the shit they said to you and how they treated you, and you're reminded of it every so often, just like this gentleman said that was the YouTuber, and he feels like that's your mind telling you don't mess with that person no more. And I would agree with him. But it's all about when you remember something, what do you do with it? See, we don't always know what to do with it. So, in this instance, I'm going to say this, okay? The narcissist or the psychopath or the person with antisocial personality disorder, they blocked you. And so, empathy is such a horrible thing if you don't utilize it properly because it will get you in a lot of shit. So, it's a lot of emotional thinking. So, if it's a relative, especially, if it's your son or daughter, your parents, especially immediate relatives, you're like, oh my goodness, where are they at? I need to talk to them. I want to mend this. So you got to keep this in mind. And a lot of people, they won't recognize this. Okay, like for example, I had a relative that passed away. So recently, within the past 3 months, I went to a funeral. Okay. And what helps me too is I do process things. Okay. Through intelligence, I'm able to process things, and I'm definitely at my best when I'm calm. Now, if I'm pissed off and showing a lot of anger and rage, I won't make the best choice. However, in my case, if I shut my mouth for a minute and I don't react right away, I'm able to make the best decision. So, this is how you can process things. And with empathy, with empaths, it's almost as bad as being a narcissist, except the only difference is you're not damaging yourself from a bad place. You're damaging yourself because you too freaking nice. Versus the narcissist has a lot of bad intentions that you don't have. If you have empathy, your intentions should not be bad. However, the trouble that can come in your life and the trouble that's came in my life just from being empathetic fuck me up. Okay? So, okay, you got to process this. So, this is a situation I'm in. Relative, y'all. This is a relative. I'm blocked. I was no longer paying a phone bill anyway. And that's another thing you got to remember. A lot of times you're getting blocked because you're not doing what you used to do for them. But in this case, it's not so much of that. But keep this in mind. This went through my mind. Well, let me create another account so I can contact them. I want to help. This is how my mind is working. And this is how empaths, you get yourself on the wrong road or you walk yourself right back into another abuse trap. Because in this particular case, this is the longest time I've been blocked. And y'all, I'm going to be honest with you. I got a little mouth, okay? And in my case, it ain't hurting me. What hurt me the most is not speaking up for myself and letting these bastards run all over me. Okay. I had at one point where I didn't say much. And a lot of times when you're too quiet, somebody's going to end up beating your ass. Okay. Not that it's the right thing to do. Nobody deserves to have their ass beat. However, a lot of people will leave you the hell alone and be a little bit more fearful of putting their hands on you when they know you got that mouth. Because what comes after a mouth? You hitting their ass too. Okay, so that is the journey I went through. So I don't suggest that overly quiet shit no more. Because that overly quiet shit got me fucked up. Okay. And people need to know and people need to understand that you ain't the one. Okay. And I'm not saying you walk around bullying people. I'm not saying none of that. But you have to have a standard for yourself. And if you got a mouth, get a YouTube channel so you can use it to help people. So in this situation I'm in, okay, I've been blocked and this person is not unblocking me at this point. And it's not because that's such a horrific thing, but this is how this communication worked. The person contacting me. You know, narcissists and psychopaths always got to say some bullshit. You stressing me out, they say. So this is what I said. I told the person, well, stop fucking contacting me. Is something wrong with you? If I'm stressing you out, brother or sister, why in the fuck are you reaching out to me? Because that's stressing me out. For a motherfucker to be contacting me saying that I'm stressing them the fuck out. That's stressing me out too, brother or sister. So what the fuck do you want? Because I get tired of people, okay? And I get tired of narcissists and psychopaths. They ain't doing shit with their life but talking shit to you. Go get you a fucking job. Go get you a motherfucking real phone line. Take your ass and get you someplace to stay for real. Go get you some motherfucking kids to tell what to do. Go apologize to your goddamn parents or somebody that you fucking over. And get off my line. And so, you know, a lot of times, the thing with me is one of the reasons I'm glad that psychopaths and narcissists block me is because it's a protection for me so that I can stop saying bad shit to them too, that actually is lowering their self-esteem. And, you know, a lot of these communications, and parents go through it too. You know, this person, whether they be a son or daughter, they grown, grandchild, niece, nephew, they're telling you, well, you're a bad mom, you're a bad dad, you're a bad grandpa, you're a bad grandma. Next thing you know, you be done told this person, well, I wish I hadn't had you. And then they leave you the fuck alone and block you. But see, that's the blessing in being blocked. That pattern can stop because it's so unhealthy for you or the psychopath to be saying evil stuff to each other. It's just not a good idea. But the only difference between you and the psychopath is because you have empathy, you're actually gonna feel bad that you said it. That psychopath don't feel bad. So as I'm going through this process and I'm like, okay, I'm blocked, my empathetic side is like, okay, I want to help them. Even though I've been blocked, I still want to help the person. But me being able to analyze things, this is why I'm giving you a suggestion. And this has been something I've said before that I've kind of been good at in my life. A lot of people stay in these situations because they just won't say this one thing. They're so afraid to say this. And it creates so many problems in their life, right? And the thing that they're afraid to say, no matter how they say it, you could say it like a religious fanatic and say, oh, I don't think they love me. Or you can say it like you're scared. Oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? They don't love me. Or you could say it like a real gangster and say it like this. They don't give a fuck about me. And that is the way that I say it, that I have no fear of. I say it just like that. And the reason I say it just like that is because for me, it makes me get it. Okay, I gave the 3 different ways you could say it. So I had to go back to myself. Because see, when you're an empath, you're always emotionally focused on the psychopath or the narcissist. So I had to say to myself, dang, I just lost another relative that I love deeply. And during my hardship and my grieving process, this motherfucker blocked me. Right? So you got to remember that when the narcissist or psychopath, I apologize, let me reword it because I kind of skewed that. Got to reword this. Correct English, y'all. Correct English. When the narcissist or psychopath blocks you, remember, they lack empathy. See, you're different. You're an empath. You're going to say, no, I can't block my mama or daddy or my grandparents or auntie and uncle and cousins. I can't do that because somebody just died. The narcissists don't think like that. Actually, they want to block you at this time to fuck with you more because you're grieving. You understand that? And so you got to accept that. However, you help participate in this blocking because you're not signing up for the every Sunday or every Thursday you contact me, because narcissists like to contact you on this certain particular day. And I was able to kind of get that pattern down. I've always been good with recognizing their patterns. Like, okay, the psychopath contacts me every freaking Tuesday. I'm going to notice that. And the reason I notice it is because I'm a person that keeps a schedule, and sometimes I'll write it down. Spoke to psychopath Monday. And then my next Monday comes around and I write down what I did that day. Because, I'm not documenting it for any kind of criminal stuff. It's just like, okay, I spoke to psychopath for an hour. And I do that, y'all. Like, it's just like my videos. I got this in my schedule. I'm not just uploading videos just randomly like people may think. I mean, sometimes, just like this last Saturday, I did Video Saturday, and I actually got 4 to 5 additional subscribers because I uploaded videos throughout the day on Saturday. And I also did a short that I would be doing that. So I might do that again this Saturday because somebody must have liked it. I mean, I don't get 4 to 5 subscribers in a day anymore. I mean, you get to where you're going to get. And then with the small YouTube channel like I have, you kind of like get a subscriber every here and there or every so often. You're not the million subscriber YouTuber. So you're a small YouTuber channel. And what I do is I compare my channel, or I kind of monitor some of the other YouTube channels. And that helped me get to about over 500 subscribers. And the reason I did it is because I used to watch, and I still watch. I watch a lot of small YouTubers. I don't copy their information. However, I always wondered, okay, some of them stay stuck at about 200 or 300 subscribers, and they never go above that if they're small YouTubers. And I would watch their channel and figure out some of the reasons why. Okay. And if you have a small YouTube channel and you have about 100 subscribers, some of them have 100 subscribers, this will help you capitalize your title. So if you're a small YouTuber, if you notice with all my videos, the title of my video or the subject of my video is in all caps. If you just do that, you will go up to at least 500 to 1,000 subscribers within 6 months, because more people can see the title of your video. That's all I did. I monitored and I looked at all of the other YouTubers that could not go past the 200 subscribers. And I noticed that a lot of them did not capitalize the name of their video. Now, why was I capitalizing the name of my video? because I'm half blind, y'all. Okay. So I'm capitalizing my stuff so I can see it better because I wear readers. I probably technically need a prescription, but at a minimum, I wear readers. So it was kind of like it just happened that way because I capitalized my title so it stands out to me better. But in turn, that will get your subscribers up to about 500. And that is what a lot of the good YouTubers that are small, that are staying at 200 subscribers, are doing. They don't capitalize their title. And I guarantee you, I know a sister, she has about 100 and some subscribers right now. If she's listening to this video, that's all you got to do. Capitalize your title and you'll get more subscribers. Okay. That's how that works. That's the only difference between what I was doing and what they were doing. And also, another thing I noticed, if you stay at about 100 to 200 subscribers, you're not offering enough. So, okay, you may only talk about narcissism. You may always show your face on your videos. There's not enough they're learning from you. See, with me, I got up to the 500 instead of just staying down at 200 subscribers because I offer playlists. Sometimes I upload some family fun times. I upload some TikToks. I talk about narcissism. Sometimes I speak about religion. I give some health tips here and there. Like right now I'm on this bike. I motivate you. So I have long videos, short videos. I do shorts. So I offer a little diversity so that you can get there. So anyway, going back to this no contact thing, that's what I'm pretty much good at. The person don't give a fuck, right? And this is what I would like you to do. If the psychopath unblocks you and you do continue to go back into communication because it is a relative, okay, this go around, watch what you say. Make it very brief. Hello, how you doing? You know, just don't get too much into it. However, usually it won't work. I mean, it just won't work. It's so many, I think single mothers and fathers get it the worst. I'm going to explain to you why. The other parent gets to completely abandon the child. Okay. And that psychopath that you raise, that grows up, that takes on the traits from the other parent, may even take some of the traits in your own family somewhere down the road. You know, sometimes a psychopath is created because you got it on both sides. Whatever way, they're a psychopath now. They have no conscience. So when I call somebody a psychopath, they're more extreme than a narcissist. They're able to tell their own parents to jump off a bridge, right? They're very triggering to their own parents. But one of the things that is kind of heartbreaking with the single mother or single father thing is that you have to take all the abuse from what the other parent didn't do. And the reason that's happening is because the child, whether they be younger or an adult, they want to vent out on somebody what this sorry ass other parent purposely didn't do for them. So the quickest go-to for them to abuse somebody is the parent that was down for their ass. So basically, this other criminal, which is this unfit ass, sorry ass parent, gets to ride off into the sunlight and do what the fuck they want to do and don't give a fuck about the child, whether it be a girl or boy. And so because they did that, the parent that was the ride or die parent got to hear all this bullshit. And I'm the type of mom like this. You could call it right or wrong. I'm like this. I listen to the bullshit for so long. But after a while, I'm going to tell you, look, son or daughter, you might want to, the same bullshit you saying to me, you might want to call your daddy and tell him this, because that's actually the one that didn't do a fucking thing for you. I taught your ass about the Lord. I spent time with your fucked up ass. I fed you. I provided a home for your ass. This is why you talking all this shit to me, because I took care of your fucked up ass. Take all this bullshit you talking and go call your daddy. Because he might need to hear this more than I do. Because see, I done did too much for your ass. This is how I feel about my own children. I done did too much to hear this shit. I think that the deadbeat deserves to hear some of this cussing out and name calling and all this bullshit. Go tell that person that they're a horrible dad. And if you a man and it's your baby mama, you might be saying, go tell. And some of y'all men get so sick of it, you like, call the bitch that didn't do shit for you. And you don't even really mean to call her that. But it's the child bringing it out of you because you just snap. You can't take no more of it. So I had to go through this process. So when I was blocked by this particular relative and not unblocked, I went to the Lord. I had to talk about with the Lord, you know, in my own mind, what my responsibility of that is. I reminded myself of the biblical story of Hagar and Ishmael, which is not just in the Bible, it's also in the Quran, where it talks about the biblical story of how Jacob sent Hagar away. She was their slave girl, and he had impregnated her, had a baby with her, which was Ishmael, and how Hagar suffered. I mean, she was in the wilderness with Ishmael because Sarah, Jacob's wife, had advised Jacob to get rid of her and send her out there. So she was out there in the wilderness. Ishmael could have starved. There was wild animals that could have ate both of them up. And it was just a horrible thing. Ishmael ended up growing up being a king. And Hagar ended up being very blessed by that. She ended up having a son that grew up to be a king. However, I had to remind myself, you got to remember this. When anybody sends you away, whether it be a psychopath or an empath or anyone, even if they're narcissistic, they're a narcissist, their personality is just normal, meaning they don't have a bunch of extreme empathy or a bunch of extreme narcissism. They're just normal. They have a little empathy and very little narcissistic traits if they're just normal. When anybody sends you away or blocks you, you may be like Hagar. You're being removed from slavery. Hagar was hurt and upset when her and her son was sent away by Jacob. Because even though she wasn't legally married to Jacob and she was a slave girl, she still had this bond because Jacob was her baby daddy or the father of her son. Which originally Sarah, when she was thinking she couldn't have kids with Jacob because she was in her old age, Sarah gave permission for Jacob to impregnate Hagar. So you got to remember in the beginning, this woman, the same woman that's saying, tell her to kick rocks and get the hell out of my house, originally was okay with the situation. And so at the end of the day, Hagar was being sent away, not just her, but her son. They were being removed from slavery. Okay, so you got to look at it the same way. So I thought about that story in comparison to myself to say this. Okay, this person has blocked me, and this was my only line of communication with this particular narcissist or psychopath that was continuously emotionally abusing me. And you guys, if the person ain't your daddy or your mama, and you're in the leadership position and they're repeatedly telling you you're bad at it and you ain't doing a good job and you're repeatedly trying to help them. I mean, I'm in a situation where I'm on a phone call telling police, can you put this person in protective custody? Now, this person that's blocking me, they ain't got my back. See, that's what you got to learn to understand. So what this helped me do, by me recognizing that they don't have my back, what it helped me do was made me fight my temptation. Because I thought about this, y'all. I said, well, I'm going to create another account so I can message them. But no, you shouldn't do that. And I'm going to tell you why. The psychopath, their problem and part of their issue is bad communication. So nothing ever gets fixed if we keep leaving the meeting, right? So if we're having a team meeting and we're at work and we have to resolve a company crisis, if every time we go in this meeting, people begin to walk out, it never gets resolved. And that's what psychopaths and narcissists and sociopaths do. To be honest, a lot of sociopaths, if they go through therapy, if they have antisocial personality disorder and they have a lot of self-control and they're mature, they may have more control of that blocking stuff. And the reason I say that is because I have had relationships, healthy relationships with people that have had antisocial personality disorder and they don't act like this. However, they're older, they receive therapy. Go to YouTube and look at this, Google this or search for this on your YouTube. Interview with sociopath. And it'll bring this man up. He's kind of a built, stout man. And he's a man of color. And this white man is interviewing him. And watch that video. You will learn a lot. This gentleman has a lot of self-control. He's known he was a sociopath since he was younger. And that's his personality. He has a personality disorder. But he does very well with it. And to me, he wouldn't be the type that's constantly blocking. However, people with psychopathy, in my opinion, especially if they are not mature and skilled, they have way less self-control. This is what I've noticed. And when they have psychopathy, they don't even really think when they push block. You know, a lot of times you could be paying their car payment. They just push block on you. And they don't even realize that that's a problem till you stop paying the car payment and the repo man show up to go repossess the freaking car you paying for them. They just push block. They don't think about nothing you doing for them. That's what psychopaths do. And I'm saying that through experience. Narcissists and narcissistic people, they're going to be blocking you, unblocking you, blocking you, unblocking. But psychopaths, a lot of times they push that block button and they don't unblock. And the reason they don't unblock is they want to torture you. And mentally torture you. So this is what I do with people. I process it and I always kind of consider what I'm going through. And the way I'm looking at this person is they're not there for me. I'm dealing with grief right now. I'm doing what you call sad management. I'm going to do some videos about this concept of how I am going through this grieving process, doing sad management, not anger management, y'all, sad management. And yes, you can control ongoing sadness, and you control it through using your intelligent mind and processing things so that you are protecting your gentle, sensitive mind. And so as a result, in this situation that I'm being blocked, for one, I'm going to thank the Lord for removing me from slavery. I'm also going to thank the Lord for making it so that I can no longer say any mean things to this particular relative. I'm going to thank the Lord that I no longer have to hear how horrible of what they think I am, because I no longer give a fuck. Because see, this is the thing with psychopaths, y'all. They always criticizing, but they can't even stop stealing a freaking sandwich from the freaking grocery store, even though they got fucking money in their pocket, right? So you got $40 in your freaking pocket, the motherfucking sandwich, $5, but you still can't pay for that shit with your trifling, thieving ass. That's the type of stuff they do. Like, you gotta remember, a psychopath life, no matter what that motherfucker say to you about what they think you doing or ain't doing or should do or never did or never gonna do or might do or wanna fucking do, that motherfucking psychopath ain't gonna do shit of what you done did in your life. They always, every fucking psychopath that talks shit to me always did a worse job when it came to responsibility. Always. And when I say responsibility, they're not gonna take care of their fucking kids. They're not gonna financially provide. A lot of times, they don't even love themselves enough to keep their hygiene up. They're going to continue to use people. Oh, and let's go and mention, let's bring up the drug abuse. They always think that their total fucking life is dedicated to drugs and not to nothing else. Like, that's just what they fucking wake up and go to bed to do, is use dope. And they always, at the end of the day, think somebody owe their ass something. They have the greatest sense of entitlement. And I've been on this earth long enough, and I'm going to tell you that no psychopath that I've ever ran across, I don't give a damn if they was a child of mine, another relative, a neighbor, friend, they ain't outdid me. Period. And when I say that, it doesn't always mean they ain't went and made more money. I mean, you got those psychopaths, but I'm talking about this psychopath that's constantly talking mess. And I have to really remember, and also do this too. Read the messages they wrote to you when they blocked you. And this is one of the things that I was able to do. What I said that I thought was kind of too wrong or maybe not the right thing to say, I clicked on unsend, which means I'm revoking it to me. I'm taking it back, like you read it for a second, but I click on unsend. That fucking psychopath didn't unsend that shit that they sent. So when they said, you a old ass, ugly ass, bastard ass of a grandpa or grandma, they meant that shit. Okay. And what happens is the psychopath is going to go out into the real world. And when they go out into the real world, bad stuff will happen to all psychopaths. And the reason bad stuff is going to happen to the psychopath is this. This is the main reason why bad stuff is going to happen to the psychopath. It's because no matter who you are, bad stuff happens to even good people. So something bad happening has nothing to do with you just being a narcissist or a psychopath. Nothing at all. Bad stuff happens to everyone. So that's why it's a guarantee that when the psychopath goes on his or her journey, they will be subjected to toxic and negative and sometimes tragic things. That is just the destiny of a psychopath, because those same things happen to me and you. So a psychopath, a sociopath, and a narcissist is not exempt from bad luck. No one is. Because we're just not entitled to have everything we want. And if a psychopath realized that, they would have more respect and be a better person. I love y'all so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. I've been on this video for 40 minutes. I love y'all so much. As a courteous person, I apologize for the profanity, but I gave it to you like I gave it to you. And please continue to watch, share these videos. Thank you so much for my regular people that comment, for keeping me motivated, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you. Bye.